What's up, everybody? I'm Captain Jody with Bayou Bandit Charters. Welcome back to the channel. As you saw on the thumbnail, we are getting ready to change our sacrificial anodes, and we're going to look at our water pressure valve, our poppet valve as well. I'm going to show y'all what I think is the best way to change these sacrificial anodes out, and the best way to clean and flush your block after cleaning the passageways that these sacrificial anodes sit in. This is also my 200-hour service video. I'm not going to do a whole in-depth video as I did on the 100-hour service video. I'll leave the link right up there. Please check it out. It is very thorough. It has all the part numbers. It is literally step by step everything you need to know. You cannot know anything about outboard motors, and you can watch this video, and I guarantee you can have a good, successful 100-hour service. And right now, you know, your local shops are charging anywhere from $135 to $150 an hour, and they would probably charge you at least 5 hours for this service, and you can do it. Honestly, you can do it in 2 hours by yourself and not have to take your boat anywhere, and that will enable you to learn about your motor and possibly be able to fix little things that may go wrong out on the water where you can get home safely. If you enjoy this maintenance video, if it was helpful, if it was informative, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already. I have gone step by step through this Suzuki 200, from the install video, break-in video, 20-hour service, 100-hour service. Everything I do to this engine, me and this engine's got a relationship. Hey, it keeps me in business running my charters. I am going to do a good job servicing this engine, and any issues I have with this engine through its life and my life, y'all will know about it. I'll have a good, thorough video on it. Enough talking, let's get in here and get started. All right, this is a 12mm socket that fits these anodes. These are internal sacrificial anodes on this Suzuki 200. There is 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll go through and break all 5 bolts loose. This is a very, very good design that Suzuki has done with these. We'll go through and take these 5 bolts out. This motor does not have the low water pickup in the foot. If it does, there may be a hidden one in there, but on this Suzuki 200 there's only 5. Real easy to get to, simple work. The manual says to change these anodes when they're about 2/3 of the way used up. This is my 200-hour service. I still expect them to be in pretty decent shape. One very important thing to have with you, this is a 10mm 1.25 thread pitch, and these caps that your anodes are in are tapped, and they're tapped for a reason. This thread pitch bolt enables you to get these anodes out real easy. Some people will put any bolt in there and they'll wedge it in the threads. That's not the way to go. That's not how it's designed to do. They're designed to be able to screw in hand tight, and you're watching, I'm hand tight and I'm still threading, right? And then you just pop it right out, because what that does is a jack off bolt, because when you screw it in, it presses against that face and it creates that gap. And if there's any corrosion in there or whatever, it breaks that bond and you can just pop it right out. All right, there we go. There's our first anode. As you can see, it's eating up pretty good. But you know, I still have, I would say, 50% of the anode left, but we are going to change these today, and I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to go ahead and pull the remaining 4 out, and then we'll get started on replacing them. All right, here are my 5 sacrificial anodes. You can see they're eating up pretty good. That means they are doing their job. We are going to change them out, but y'all check this out. Look at that. I mean, that is almost solid clogged up, right? Look at them. Look at all that salt deposits. Look at all that junk in your engine block. I'm going to show you how to clean that out, and all those loose particles are not going to be floating around in your engine block. That'll get up and stop your thermostat up and stop your telltale up, all that. We're going to show you that here in just a minute. All right, you see all that junk up in there? What we're going to do, we're going to get a screwdriver and we're going to rake as much of it out as we can, and I'll show you in a minute how we're going to get all that out of the block. I'm not worried about that. So all that, as you can see, that is salt deposits. This is a saltwater motor, and you're going to have this. Don't freak out when you see all this. It is part of it. It is no big deal. The main thing you need to do is every 100 hours you pull these anodes out. You don't have to replace them. You look at them, grease them up, put them back in. That way nothing seizes in here, because you can have some bad issues with these anodes getting seized up in here as this salt and all builds up. But look at all that. It is everywhere, looks nasty, but that's part of it. I mean, look at all that salt and mud and all those deposits. That's what's floating around in your engine block. Nasty, nasty stuff. And right here on these old anodes, you got your bolts. You got to dig all that crusty stuff out, get down here to your bolts where you can take them out and replace them. That is some nasty stuff. But the anodes are doing their job. They're protecting that engine block from all the harmful effects of the saltwater environment. The best thing to do if you've got a vise handy is to put them in a vise and take that bolt off right there. But I'll show you another way to do it. A lot of people it's got their boat on a lift in their boathouse. They're not around a shop, they don't have a vise. I'm going to show you a good easy way to do it right here, using your motor as a vise. So here's a little trick of the trade, y'all. You can take this sacrificial anode, turn it around the other way, just like that. Run your bolt in, just hand tight. All you need to do, let it spin around towards that block, and that's your vise, right? You ain't got to have a vise. You can do it just like this. All right, this is an 8mm metric socket. We're going to put it right there, and we're going to use that as our vise. There we go. Like I said, it's better if you've got a vise, but a lot of people, I understand how it is. A lot of people's working on these boats in their boat houses, places like that. They don't have a vise. So what they're gonna do, this is the best way to do it. And you can break them all loose just like that, and you don't need a vise. So we'll just take that screw loose. And you can see right there the difference in the old anode and the new anode. So they're doing their job, they're doing what they're supposed to do. And really, according to the book, I shouldn't be replacing them yet, because they're still, I'd say, only about 75% wore out, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it to show y'all. This is 200 hours of saltwater use on this motor. I'll probably wait till I have 500 hours. That'll give me 300 hours of use on these anodes, and figure out the right time to do it. But I wanted to show y'all this where y'all can do it and y'all don't have any hesitation about tackling this job on your own. It's not a hard job at all. All right, I have removed all the O-rings, and I've got all these caps soaking in salt away. I'm gonna let them soak in there for about 15 or 20 minutes where I can clean them up real well. And I've got a wire brush. Got my wire brush. I'm fixing to clean all these orifices really good with that wire brush. So we got our little wire brush, We're going to get in here, clean all these openings real good, get all the salt deposits out of them. And we're going to let that salt away. Also soak in there for about 15 or 20 minutes as well. Oh, that looks bad right there. If you watched the 100-hour service video last time, this is the one that was corroded up pretty bad, and I had to run a 1.25 tap through the threads to clean everything. All right, we're gonna let that soak for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then I'll show you how we're gonna flush this block out and get all that crud out of this engine block. All right, while we're letting everything soak up top, this is our poppet valve. This is our water pressure valve. There's a lot of horror stories on these. That's why I recommend every 100 hours, pull your sacrificial anodes, pull this poppet valve off, inspect it, lube everything back up, put it back in. You won't have any trouble. People that wait 2 or 3 years, then they have cooling issues, then they try to get this poppet valve off, they have a lot of problems and issues. If you watched my 100-hour service, y'all saw that we pulled it off, cleaned it, inspected it, put it right back in with no issues. I don't expect to have any issues with it at this time, but I do have a new one just in case, and I'll show you the part number on that in just a minute. And these poppet valves do not have the threaded jack screws to be able to get it out real easy. So it does have a little tab, a little ear right there you can get a screwdriver under. See if my little micro screwdriver can get under there and pop it out. Yep, we just wiggling it back and forth. I can feel it coming out. If you lube everything up right, you can get that out with just a little small micro screwdriver. You can see very little corrosion on there, a little bit around the O-ring that we will clean off. Let's get our poppet valve, our water pressure valve out. There we go. And looking at it, it's in pretty good shape. Got this rubber seal that's rolled a little bit on it right there. I really don't like how that looks. I will probably go ahead and replace it and put a new one in just to be sure we don't have any water, any issues getting around that. But these little guys are so critical because you'll have an engine that'll start running hot, start having some corrosion issues, and start running hot, and people will try to get this valve out that's been in the engine 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and they can't get this out. If y'all watched the 100-hour video, I lubed this up, took it out, inspected it, lubed it up real good, put it back in, and that's why it came out so easy with just this little micro screwdriver. I will keep this as a spare. I'll be putting the new poppet valve in, and we'll have a nice reliable spare if we need it. This is my new poppet valve right here. It's a genuine Suzuki dealer part right there, folks. That's the brand new one. We'll be putting that one in the place of the old one. We're going to also clean the internals. There is no corrosion at all in this poppet bow orifice. We're going to be cleaning this cap. We're going to let it soak in there as well, and we'll be back in about 15 or 20 minutes. All right, we've got our new poppet valve in, and we have greased the crap out of this cover. That's what you want. You want the O-ring good and greased. You want all your mating surfaces areas greased up very well. That way you won't have any issues, and you can feel that O-ring push right in and pop. Just popped in place. And we put our 2 bolts in. It's just a little bit of work now that can save you a whole lot later on. And grease these bolts up too. Put marine grease on every fitting on this motor. It will help you out immensely in the future. You won't have to worry about anything seizing up. And we just want to snug these bolts up. No need to over tighten them. Give them a little snug little tightening, and you're good to go. Now I'm going to show you the right way to flush all this crap out of this engine block. Don't put your anodes back in. Don't run your engine. Let me show you the right way to flush it. All right, this is the only time you will ever catch me using these reverse flush ports, but this is what I have found out is very good to do. I've got my water hose hooked up to it. When I turn this on, that block will fill up with water, and it'll clean up. It'll clean everything out of the block. It'll come out of these flush holes. That is how you flush the block of your engine and flush all that debris that's fell down in that block. You flush it out. So it's flushed good out of those bottom 2. So we're going to put our sacrificial anodes back in the bottom 2 holes and work our way right on up. I've got it on a quick shut off valve. I can turn it off just like that. So we've got a ton of junk and crap that's came out of these bottom 2. All right, we have got these cleaned. I have wire brushed everything, put on a new O-ring. We've got our new sacrificial anode. Be sure to get you a little bit of grease and put on the threads of those bolts. That'll make all the difference in the world. So we just reverse the process. Screw in our bolt, and they ain't got to be super tight. That's all you need right there. You can just take it in your hand, snug it up real good, and you're good to go. All right, we want to make sure we grease up that O-ring really good, and this mating face, well, we don't have these caps seizing up in here and giving us any trouble. You don't need any grease on your anode, so we'll wipe that off. That's what we want right there. You can take those, pop them right back in, boom, you're good to go. We're gonna do the other one that way, then we're gonna turn the water back on and flush on up. All right, we've got the bottom 2 in. Now we're gonna turn our water on, and it should come out and flow out of some of the top ones. There we go. That's what we want to see. We're just going to work our way up. Take our finger, run in there. See how it's coming out of all of them now. We're going to plug that one off with our finger. And then we have cleaned all those deposits out of the whole engine block without running the engine, without clogging up our thermostat, our telltale, anything like that. That's how I recommend y'all doing this. It works really, really well. We got good clean water. We've got all that crap out of our block. Now we can turn our water valve off. Finish installing our sacrificial anodes. Alright, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you found it helpful, informative, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already. Please check out this 100-hour service video. I'll leave the video link at the end of this video. It is very thorough, all part numbers included on everything that I did. We go through everything step by step on how to do a 100-hour service. The main thing on these engines, if you want it to last for years and years and years, is every 100 hours, pull that lower unit off, grease your spline shafts that go up in the power head, change your water pump, grease all your fasteners, all your bolts, put some marine grease on them. Every 100 hours, pull out these 5 sacrificial anodes, inspect them, clean them, pull that poppet valve, that water pressure valve, make sure it's in good shape as well. If y'all watched a 100-hour service video, y'all know I love Corrosion X. Why I take all the side covers off is I clean all these salt deposits off of everything. I spray every single fastener under all these covers and the whole engine with this Corrosion X. Makes a world of difference. You never have to worry about anything rusting up on you. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank y'all. See y'all next week.